We had storms yesterday. Today it's been just chilly but dry. The very late season daffodils are out now. We'll see them roundabout. But most of the rest of them, except for 2 different varieties of yellow, are pretty well done for the year. So let's take a look at the cliff, and then I got some things to show you before it gets dim and dark again. It's not dark. It's not even supposed to be yet. It's only 6. And lately the sun's been going down closer to 8. It's a Saturday. Due to ants, I don't seem to have a whole lot of hope of getting my elderberry back in here. I'm sad about that. Switchgrass is doing really good. Oh, look, there's a baby bunny. Hello, baby bunny. I'm gonna pest you. Yeah, there you go. Stop eating things. Yeah, so there's irises, daffodils, a couple of tree lilies coming up. Oh, I haven't checked if my what you call it? Oh yeah, it did. Okay, good. I hadn't checked if my Arctic raspberry had survived. It needs weeded a little bit, but I see 2 sprigs of it popping up here, and the other variety I've seen sprigs of it popping up over there. So it is doing okay. That is good. So that's street side. It's not doing great, but it's doing okay. I think these are like Spanish bluebells, maybe? I don't remember. Those I got in a Aldi's purple flower pack, if I recall. This is the red twig dogwood. And there's 1 branch of an ash tree over there. And several small branches of a coppiced ash tree there. But probably will cut that ash branch to encourage more growth at the stump on that one, like the others. We've also got a few black cherry trees that I'm going to be coppicing in through here. So basically this is going to be a coppiced hedge for polewood. Possibly if I ever figure out how to do basket making, I might try it. I don't know. I haven't decided. Look at this rhubarb. Look at that rhubarb. That is some heckin' rhubarb. There's the stinging nettle. I just exchanged, I had purchased a tumbling composter at Aldi's. And when it arrived, it wasn't all in one piece. So I exchanged it, and if it works, I might be able to put one in. But if there's 2 busted in a row, we're gonna do a return. This is exciting. Remember how I was saying I didn't think I was going to get quince this year after all, even though it seemed like it ought to be the year? Well, it is the year. I just put that up on my, what you call it? Instagram is the word I'm trying to look for. I don't see any buds on this branch, oddly enough, but I do on that one. So, great. At least something's got them. I may need to end up supporting the very tender twigs, just because of the fact that that's a very heavy fruit, and I don't think that tree's quite strong enough to handle it, honestly. Now that I know it's old enough, I'm gonna have to read the instructions on pruning, because I think I read that they only bloom on the tip of the new wood, so if you trim them every year, you get more fruit. But I'm gonna have to double check that, so don't quote me on it. Double check me. I was seeing flowers on my raspberries through here, which I was excited to see. We've got the Magnolia virginiana leafing out, and unlike the pink magnolias that you're used to seeing, they wait before they bloom. I don't think we've had, and I'm afraid to say it out loud, I don't think we've had freezing weather. I mean, I suppose the fact that some of the blooms are still doing well is a good sign, but I don't know for sure. This looks like it ought to be a rather intensive apple fruit year, because there's a lot of blooms on this tree, so hopefully that's a good sign. I'm glad to see that the persimmon's leafing out despite all the bun damage. You see, I put the fence around it that had at one point been protecting the sand cherry, which I don't think is quite fully hardy here. They seem never to fully make it. This is a silver vine kiwi. That is a hardy acai kiwi. This one's a male. Silver vine isn't supposed to fertilize acai, but acai has been producing fruit that just drop early, sometimes don't go fully ripe, for a lot of years now without a pollinator. It's polyphenocarpic, which means basically it produces fruit even if it doesn't get pollinated. And that's the story with this persimmon too. That's meter, and it will produce seedless fruit if no pollinator is present. Some plants do that, and there are people who breed them to do that once they figure out how. I don't know how you would breed to do that, but some plants do that in order to keep the animals that spread their seed coming, even in this case that there isn't a good pollination year. So that's how that ends up happening in nature. I'll be really interested to see how the flowers are on the silver vine kiwi. That's this right here on that side. It's got a really big protection built in for the thornless raspberries there, so I'm hoping that I'll get a good year on that. Let's see what we got back here. I did get that, I don't know, did I mention this in a previous video? It was a couple weeks ago. I got the jugulone tree out of here, the black walnut, because it would probably kill the rhubarb. But yeah, it's not like I don't have enough rhubarb. It's a risk that was okay to take. That right there is a native hazelnut. However, it's also growing inside a pot and through the bottom, and has been for years, and that's my bad. So I don't know if that poor little thing's okay or not. Over here, oh, look at this. It has a weed maple. Well, that's gonna have to get after it again. I have a stray cherry. The cherries are starting to fruit. Can you tell? I don't know what distance it's going to focus at, but yeah, there you go. But this cherry that is just the most unhealthy thing in the world is fruiting very well. Look, 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 look. Look, look, look. Oy. Okay, I have to do balance and excitement at the same time in a difficult spot. But look, 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 look. That's the first year. Pop quiz, what's that? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? That's paw paw. I bet they smell like rotten meat. That's kind of what they're supposed to smell like. So I planted them over here expecting to still have the neighbors that never pick up their dog shit. Pardon the French. But, so now I don't know if for sure the fly pollination will go as well as it would have under the worst circumstances. Genuinely, that's kind of funny. kind of funny. This is me sniffing it. I don't smell anything terrible. Everything I read said that they're supposed to smell like kind of like rot meat. Because these pawpaw trees, they're native to North America. It is the hardiest variety of a custard apple that exists. They look rotten when they're ripe, which is true of a lot of North American fruits. And they do drop from the tree, which is also true of a lot of North American fruits. It is my theory that these were bred by first peoples of this land to drop the fruit specifically so that these could either be gathered for food or used as deer lures to bring the deer in for hunting purposes. So you could get a few different crops just off of having the trees. Oh boy, I'm excited. There's so many flowers. Once they're all burgundy, I might go in and just like pollinate myself so I don't have to worry about whether the flies will come in. There are 3 pawpaws in here. This is another one right here. It's co-mingling with the Saskatoons, which are starting to set fruit. I thought I saw, although that, oh no, it's just the cherry and the pawpaw were the Saskatoon were overlapping. Okay, so this is the native hazelnut. We've got the pawpaws going. Now the pawpaw would like to have another genetically distinct pawpaw flowering in order to produce fruit. So I don't know if it will this year, because the ones that are in deeper shade haven't matured. There's another one right there at the same rate. And these are in very deep shade. Now they do fine in very deep shade. Oh look, our native, oh that almost went in my eyeball. Our native bleeding heart is doing great right here too. I think I accidentally pulled out. I had 2 here originally, but I made a mistake and now I only have 1. So this particular Saskatoon sends out runners hardcore. I love the pattern on the bark. I think a lot of that's lichen. But and the other one has been maintaining its footprint quite well, but this one's been sending out runners for quite a while. That's a scraggly rhubarb right there. Look at that. Huh. And then there's more Saskatoon coming up right there. So, oh, that's so exciting. So usually it can take up to 7 years for them to bloom. So that is so exciting. All right, so again, very carefully exiting the exciting corner because I don't want to lose my balance. Oh, good, my Illinois mulberry is doing great. And then the May apples have popped up real nice too. Oh good, I have asparaguses. I've even already missed some. Gosh dang. I don't know. I goofed, I guess. I don't know. So, here we have... I was seeing flowers on my hascaps earlier. A lot of times they have fruit by May. That's another persimmon. I had a whole cluster of seedlings there, and I've got some of them in the bucket over here, and I've got some of them still needing transplanted that are like laid into some soil that I hope are doing okay too. Little bitty babies, but that one would not come out because it was big enough, so it's permanently there. The big leaves are not, but 3 out of 4 of them in there did leaf out. We'll see them in a minute. Oh heavens, I'm struggling here to get past that bit of fence. And we have at least a couple of budlets on this columnar apple. Yeah. And then here we have just some junk, really. There were purple potatoes in those that I left over winter, and I don't know if they'll come back because I think the purple ones are a little more tender and should have been in the ground. My bad. So yeah, here's the section where there's just a ton of daffodils. Looks like the lily of the valley are about to come up too. And we're just barely starting to get budding on. Oh, they're so little. Up in Ligonier, I found a few on the mountain that only just unthawed like 2 weeks ago compared to here. That are like, the buds are like that big, and I'm gonna have to bring back cuttings to root them. Like, whoa. This is another of my very late varieties of the daffodils. And then there's these that are also very late. As you can see, the lovage is doing well back in here. Yeah, look at this. I've got asparagus. Well, the good news is about this is that if you let the first few sprigs grow, I have great news that it increases the longevity of the plant. It lives longer if you do that, because it needs photosynthesis to keep its root body healthy. And a lot of people who say they can't get asparagus to live very long are, in truth, over harvesting the poor plant. So these aren't supposed to be an especially longevitied type of asparagus. In fact, it's one that people complain about a little bit more. This is Purple Night Jersey, I think. I mean, gosh, that was many years ago, but I'm pretty sure that was correct. And more people complain about it not living so long. And so really keeping in mind that these plants do need some amount of their own natural processes to live longer will help you with having longer lived. Yeah. So the little pond has some little water in it because it just little rained yesterday. And then this is the silk dogwood, and there's that very exciting quince again. And then more daffodils and weeds. Weeds back there. Looks like I have another, probably black walnut, most likely right there. When I dig them up, typically the taproot snaps in half. Like, they're not easy to transplant. Because apparently my uncle knows people who want some, but whatever. He's got ones popping up on his land. He can deal with it. There's the peonies trying to get started. Just got a few through here. I've got more in between the hedge up there and stuff like that. It looks like my hedge replacement strategy is kind of working there too. It looks like the trees and stuff that I'm protecting from the deer are surviving, but I do think I'm going to need to put in some protective fencing there because the deer traipse through right in that gap that some bugs from their compost, I believe, came and like ate through a bunch of stuff. So we can say hi to the kitty. You want to say hi, huh? You just want to sniff my very cold fingers. Okay. Well, that's fine too. I'm gonna go back out. There. The kitties still exist, I promise. So that's a very detailed and momentarily very excited tour, because oh my god, I have pawpaw flowers for you. And I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for visiting the cliffside. Take care. Bye.